Hi, welcome to Eagle-Tribune TV. I'm Noah Bombard. I'm here with Steve Pagliuca. We're talking about his run for the U.S. Senate.
Hi, Noah.
How you doing?
Good.
First, let's just start off with what really sets you apart from your opponents?
Well, I think two things. I'm the only reliable 60th vote for health care reform to get 36 million people covered. And I think, secondly, I'm the only one that has 25 years experience on the ground building businesses. We have a jobs crisis here in Massachusetts. We have 320,000 people not employed, and I know how to put people back to work.
You mentioned health care. I know that's been a big issue with the campaign. You said you're a reliable vote for the reliable 60th vote. Let's talk about that a little bit, because the abortion issue has certainly been a divisive issue in this. Is this a matter of kind of making a compromise to get the bigger picture done and then worrying about that after? You said before that you're against the anti-abortion.
Yes, I'm against Stupak for sure. I'm totally against Stupak, and I want to get it out before the bill passes. So I'll work to get that out before the bill passes if we're in the Senate at that point in time. But it came down to me, it's really a question of health care or no health care for 36 million Americans. And if we do have to pass it with that wedge issue in there, and that was put in there by special interests to stymie health care reform. We've been trying to reform health care for 30 or 40 years right now. They've had universal coverage in Europe and all the industrialized countries forever, and we don't have health care for all Americans. That's not right. So the next day I'd wake up and try to get Stupak out of there. I'm strongly pro-choice, but I just don't think we can sacrifice the health care of 36 million Americans.
At the end of the day, though, if you can't get that out of there and you're faced with a vote, you're saying you're going to vote for that to get it done, to get the health care.
Absolutely, and my opponents are not going to do that, and then we might not have health care for 36 Americans, who knows, ever.
Is the opportunity, though, if they vote it down, to go back and then readjust it and to try to fix that, or is that not going to happen?
Yeah, the question is, should you? It's taken a long time. It's taken 40 years to get where we are today. Ted Kennedy's, one of his biggest regrets, he said, is that they didn't pass universal health care a long time ago, in the 70s. So we have a moment in time where we get this passed. We should get it passed, and then get Stupak out before it gets passed. If we can't, get it out the day after.
All right. U.S. war on terror. We're in Iraq. We're in Afghanistan. Should we be getting out now? Should we be getting out a year from now? How do you propose to do that?
Well, the president is a very fact-based president. He's looking at this right now. My strong bias is, we need to bring our troops back home, and we have to do that in an organized fashion, and do it as soon as possible. I don't think we should just wholesale pull up. We've got to figure out how to have the Afghanis protect themselves, train them a bit, but have a withdrawal plan as soon as possible, as soon as it's judicious and safely to get our troops home.
Are you worried at all that in pulling them out that we might leave a mess behind? And how do we ensure that we don't, that we're not, 5-6 years from now looking back and at a disaster we might have created?
Well, I think we're in a mess right now. We're having, we can't nation build. It's very difficult to take a country that large with different ethnic populations, different religions that have been fighting for years, and unite them together. It's almost an impossible job to ask our troops. Even with 100,000 more troops, it would be difficult in a nation that size with those kind of conflicts. So I think it's a tough situation now. I think we need to go after the terrorists where they are. We need to have counterterrorism and redeploy our resources on counterterrorism. The terrorists have already moved into Somalia, Pakistan, and so we really need to bring our troops home.
Yeah. Given the fact that they've moved to other countries, does that create a difficulty for us in trying to do counterterrorism and track them down and put our troops in other countries now?
Well, this is going to be a difficult war to fight, because it's not a classic, war against another army. So unfortunately, we have to find these terrorists where they are, use all of our technologies. We have the best military people and technologies. Find them and deal with them there. And we have to take a multilateral approach. These terrorists are not good for the countries that they're in. So, Pakistan could be destabilized by these terrorists. So we've got to work with those countries and get a coalition together, a world coalition together, to find these terrorists where they are and root them out. Terrorism is not good for any country in the world.
Now, the economy, we've been in a tough spot here for a little while now. What can government do to fix that? Can government fix that?
I think government has and will always play a big role in the economy. And right now, government's helped us, I think, avert a depression by the actions they took to save the banking system. And government's got to do more. And what do I mean by that? Well, I have a very detailed plan on my website, stevepagliuca.com, that talks about public-private partnerships, investments in job training, investments in small business loan entities that would loan money to our leading industries here, biotechnology, precision manufacturing, high tech, clean tech. We have the people that can do this, and the government's got to help us get back on our feet, get investment going. That's the way to bring jobs back here. We have 320,000 people not employed in Massachusetts. That's unacceptable. We're not going to fight our way out of this deficit. We're not going to reverse the situation until we help business and labor create jobs.
Let's talk about PAC money and lobbyists for a minute. You've said that you will not take PAC money. What difficulties does that present for you in your campaign? And what do you see that as a real problem? And how can we overcome that? How can we get away from?
Well, I think it's a real problem because there's a correlation between receiving that PAC money, large amounts of money to congressmen and senators, who then you're kind of beholden to that source of money. So I'm not taking that money, so I won't be beholden to it. I think we need fundamental campaign finance reform that says no more PAC money, no more lobby money, because the senators and congressmen have to represent the people and not the PACs.
Now, in your campaign, you've, I'm sure, gotten in touch with a lot of Massachusetts residents. What are you hearing from them? What do they want in their next senator? Are they looking for someone to sort of fulfill Senator Kennedy's legacy? Are they looking for a new voice? What are you hearing?
Well, I'm hearing they want someone who's passionate and someone who's going to go to Washington and not have business as usual, and actually try to bring jobs back to Massachusetts. Take the money from the federal government, work with the state, work with the universities, work with business to bring jobs back to Massachusetts, and sustainable jobs. And we can do that because we have industries that are growing. So if government works with business and labor and we foster those businesses to grow, that creates jobs, that'll pay taxes back, that'll give us enough money to fund education, to fund the things we need to fund to be a competitive country. We're in a global race right now. The world has become interdependent and global. And I've traveled overseas over 100 times, and I see what they're trying to build in Germany, what they're trying to build in China. We're competing with those folks. We've got to focus our energies to bring the good jobs back here that'll stay here and be a world leader again.
All right. Well, thank you for taking your time to join us. Remind our viewers to make sure and vote in the upcoming primary and election. Thanks for joining us.